Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Chapter 4, The Master and Keshab, October 27th, 1882. It was Friday, the day of the Lakshmi Puja. Keshab Chandra Sen had arranged a boat trip on the Ganges for Sri Ramakrishna. About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the steamboat with Keshab and his Brahmo followers cast anchor in the Ganges alongside the Kali temple at Dakshinaswar. The passengers saw in front of them the bathing ghat and the Chandni. To their left, in the temple compound, stood 6 temples of Shiva, and to their right, another group of 6 Shiva temples. The white steeple of the Kali temple, the treetops of the Panchavati, and the silhouette of pine trees stood high against the blue autumn sky. The gardens between the 2 Nahabats were filled with fragrant flowers. Along the bank of the Ganges were rows of flowering plants. The blue sky was reflected in the brown water of the river, the sacred Ganges, associated with the most ancient traditions of Indo-Aryan civilization. The outer world appeared soft and serene, and the hearts of the Brahmo devotees were filled with peace. Sri Ramakrishna was in his room talking with Vijay and Harilal. Several disciples of Keshab entered. Bowing before the master, they said to him, "Sir, the steamer has arrived. Keshab Babu has asked us to take you there." A small boat was to carry the master to the steamer. No sooner had he got into the boat than he lost outer consciousness in samadhi. Vijay was with him. M was among the passengers. As the boat came alongside the steamer, all rushed to the railing to have a view of Sri Ramakrishna. Keshab became anxious to get him safely on board. With great difficulty, the master was brought back to consciousness of the world and taken to a cabin in the steamer. Still in an abstracted mood, he walked mechanically, leaning on a devotee for support. Keshab and the others bowed before him, but he was not aware of them. Inside the cabin, there were a few chairs and a table. He was made to sit on one of the chairs, Keshab and Vijay occupying 2 others. Some devotees were also seated, most of them on the floor, while many others had to stand outside. They peered eagerly through the door and windows. Sri Ramakrishna again went into deep samadhi and became totally unconscious of the outer world. As the air in the room became stuffy because of the crowd of people, Keshab opened the windows. He was embarrassed to meet Vijay, since they had disagreed on certain principles of the Brahmo Samaj, and Vijay had separated himself from Keshab's organization, joining another society. The Brahmo devotees looked wistfully at the master. He was gradually coming back to normal consciousness, but the divine intoxication still lingered. He said to himself in a whisper, "Mother, why have you brought me here? They are hedged around and not free. Can I free them?" Did the master find that the people assembled there were locked within the prison walls of the world? Did their helplessness make the master address these words to the Divine Mother? Sri Ramakrishna became conscious of the outside world. Nil Madhav of Ghazipur and a Brahmo devotee were talking about Pavhari Baba. Another Brahmo devotee said to the master, "Sir, these gentlemen visited Pavhari Baba. He lives in Ghazipur. He is a holy man like yourself." The master could hardly talk. He only smiled. The devotee continued, "Sir, Pavhari Baba keeps your photograph in his room." Pointing to his body, the master said with a smile, "Just a pillowcase." The master continued, "But you should remember that the heart of the devotee is the abode of God. He dwells, no doubt, in all beings, but he especially manifests himself in the heart of the devotee. A landlord may at one time or another visit all parts of his estate, but people say he is generally to be found in a particular drawing room. The heart of the devotee is God's drawing room. He who is called Brahman by the jnanis is known as Atman by the yogis and as Bhagavan by the bhaktas. The same Brahman is called priest when worshipping in the temple and cook when preparing a meal in the kitchen. The jnani, following the path of knowledge, always reasons about the reality, saying, "Not this, not this." Brahman is neither this nor that. It is neither the universe nor its living beings. Reasoning in this way, the mind becomes steady. Finally, it disappears, and the aspirant goes into samadhi. This is the knowledge of Brahman. It is the unwavering conviction of the jnani that Brahman alone is real, and the world illusory. All these names and forms are illusory, like a dream. What Brahman is cannot be described. One cannot even say that Brahman is a person. This is the opinion of the jnanis, the followers of Vedanta philosophy. But the bhaktas accept all the states of consciousness. They take the waking state to be real also. They don't think the world to be illusory, like a dream. They say that the universe is a manifestation of God's power and glory. God has created all these: sky, stars, moon, sun, mountains, ocean, men, animals. They constitute His glory. He is within us, in our hearts. Again, He is outside. The most advanced devotees say that He Himself has become all this: the 24 cosmic principles, the universe, and all living beings. The devotee of God wants to eat sugar and not to become sugar. All laugh. Do you know how a lover of God feels? His attitude is, "O God, Thou art the Master, and I am Thy servant. Thou art the mother, and I am Thy child." Or again, "Thou art my father and mother. Thou art the whole, and I am a part." He doesn't like to say, "I am Brahman." The yogi seeks to realize the Paramatman, the Supreme Soul. His ideal is the union of the embodied soul and the Supreme Soul. He withdraws his mind from sense objects and tries to concentrate on the Paramatman. Therefore, during the first stage of his spiritual discipline, he retires into solitude and with undivided attention practices meditation in a fixed posture. But the reality is one and the same. The difference is only in name. He who is Brahman is verily Atman, and again, he is the Bhagavan. He is Brahman to the followers of the path of knowledge, Paramatman to the yogis, and Bhagavan to the lovers of God. The steamer had been going toward Calcutta, but the passengers, with their eyes fixed on the Master and their ears given to his nectar-like words, were oblivious of its motion. Dakshineswar, with its temples and gardens, was left behind. The paddles of the boat churned the waters of the Ganges with a murmuring sound. But the devotees were indifferent to all this. Spellbound, they looked on a great yogi, his face lighted with a divine smile, his countenance radiating love, his eyes sparkling with joy, a man who had renounced all for God and who knew nothing but God. Unceasing words of wisdom flowed from his lips. Master, The jnanis who adhere to non-dualistic Vedanta say that the acts of creation, preservation, and destruction, the universe itself and all its living beings, are the manifestations of Shakti, the divine power, known as Maya in the Vedanta philosophy. If you reason it out, you will realize that all these are as illusory as a dream. Brahman alone is the reality, and all else is unreal. Even this very Shakti is unsubstantial, like a dream. But though you reason all your life, unless you are established in Samadhi, you cannot go beyond the jurisdiction of Shakti. Even when you say, I am meditating, or I am contemplating, still you are moving in the realm of Shakti, within its power. The primordial power is ever at play. She is creating, preserving, and destroying in play, as it were. This power is called Kali. Kali is verily Brahman, and Brahman is verily Kali. It is one and the same reality. When we think of it as inactive, that is to say, not engaged in the acts of creation, preservation, and destruction, then we call it Brahman. But when it engages in these activities, then we call it Kali or Shakti. The reality is one and the same. The difference is in name and form. After the destruction of the universe at the end of a great cycle, the Divine Mother garners the seeds for the next creation. She is like the elderly mistress of a house who has a hotchpotch pot in which she keeps different articles for household use. All laugh. Oh yes, housewives have pots like that, where they keep sea foam. Footnote. The master perhaps referred to the cuttlefish bone found on the seashore. The popular belief is that it is hardened sea foam. Blue pills, small bundles of seeds of cucumber, pumpkin, and gourd, and so on. They take them out when they want them. In the same way, after the destruction of the universe, my Divine Mother, the embodiment of Brahman, gathers together the seeds for the next creation. After the creation, the primal power dwells in the universe itself. She brings forth this phenomenal world and then pervades it. In the Vedas, creation is likened to the spider's web. The spider brings the web out of itself and then remains in it. God is the container of the universe and also what is contained in it. Is Kali, my Divine Mother, really black? She appears black because she is viewed from a distance, but when intimately known, she is no longer so. The sky appears blue at a distance, but look at it close by, and you will find that it has no color. The water of the ocean, too, looks blue at a distance, but when you go near and take it in your hand, you find that it is colorless. Bondage and liberation are both of her making. By her Maya, worldly people become entangled in woman and gold, and again, through her grace, they attain liberation. She is called the Savior and the remover of the bondage that binds one to the world. The Divine Mother is always playful and sportive. This universe is her play. She is self-willed and must always have her own way. She is full of bliss. She gives freedom to 1 out of 100,000. A Brahmo devotee says, "But sir, if she likes, she can give freedom to all. Why then has she kept us bound to the world?" Master, that is her will. She wants to continue playing with her created beings in a game of hide and seek. Footnote. The allusion is to the Indian game of hide and seek, in which the leader, known as the granny, bandages the eyes of the players and hides herself. The players are supposed to find her. If any player can touch her, the bandage is removed from his eyes and he is released from the game. The running about soon stops if, in the beginning, all the players touch the granny. If all touch her, then how can the game go on? That displeases her. Her pleasure is in continuing the game. Brahmo devotee: Sir, can't we realize God without complete renunciation? Master, with a laugh: Of course you can. Why should you renounce everything? You are all right as you are, following the middle path. Let me tell you the truth. There is nothing wrong in your being in the world, but you must direct your mind toward God. Otherwise, you will not succeed. Do your duty with one hand, and with the other hold to God. After the duty is over, you will hold to God with both hands. End of today's reading in the middle of Sri Ramakrishna's talk.